Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Vatsal Patel from Civil Engineering Department working at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center NAVSARI. Today we are going to discuss about etiquettes. So first of all we will discuss about etiquettes for small talks. Small talk is usually a prelude to a more serious business conversation. It is shallow, informal, and somewhat impersonal conversation. It can last anywhere from a few minutes to a very long time. It is a part of the ice breaking process. There is nothing small about small talk. Small talk is an important people skill. So, if we talk about it, small talk is a icebreaker that clears the way for more intimate conversation, laying the foundation for a stronger relationship. People who excel at small talks are expert at making others feel included, valued, and comfortable. And that goes a long way towards furthering a business relationship, closing a deal, or making a friend. So, the first step is to let go of the idea that we are all somehow supposed to know how to converse with strangers. It's simply not true. We are not taught how to do it. Not nor is there some biological mechanism that instinctively takes over when we find ourselves in a conversation dilemma. So we become better conversationalists when we enjoy two primary objectives. Number one, take the risk. It is up to us to take the risk of starting a conversation with a stranger. We cannot hope that the others will approach us instead, even if we are shy. It's up to us to make the first move. We all fear rejection at some level. Just remind yourself that there are more consequences in life than rejection by someone in any event. Number two, assume the burden. It is up to each and every one of us to assume the burden of conversation. It is our responsibility to come up with topics to discuss. It is up to us to remember people's names and introduce them to others. It is up to us to reveal the awakened moments or feel the expecting pause. Most of us hope others will assume this task. It is up to us to assume the burden of other people's comfort. If other peoples are comfortable in our presence, then they will feel good about doing business or socializing with us. So, establishing connection is the main one. Helps in forming a meaningful and lasting relationships with your business associate, a potential client, and an existing client. An easy way to gain confidence in dealing with different people. Organizations look for people with such skills. So, small skill is a very valuable thing, or say, small talk is a very valuable thing. So, small talk is essential for creating and enriching business relationships. Always begin and end your business conversation with small talks to humanize the relationship. Investors choose financial planners as much for their ability to make them feel secure and comfortable as they do for their financial survey. How important is your physician's beside manners to you? Hairstylists are the consummate conversationalist. They understand that no woman will spend the better part of an hour or more sitting in a chair at the mercy of someone with a sharp instrument unless she feels comfortable. A good conversationalist frequently evokes the positive feelings that people long to have or say love to have. And the reality is that buyers' choice about where to spend their money are influenced by the presence or absence of rapport. Small talk is a big deal because it is integral of establishing rapport. Parents and teachers visit before a conference to create a bond. Mortgage brokers Chat with referral sources like title companies to strengthen the relationship and garner business. Even a minimal amount of pleasant small talk will make prospective customer remember you better than they remember you competitor. So have for now we will see the tips for small talks. So have a positive body language with smile and demonstrate your interest and desire to communicate. Say a hello first, introduce yourself and ask open-ended questions. The best topic to start with is always about the weather and the other general topics. Be more interested in the other person rather than continuously talking about yourself. So harvesting begins with small talks is the main one. Like effective managers use small talk at the front end of the meeting to set the tone for discussion and to create a bridge to more meaningful and perhaps difficult dialogue. Casual conversation and informal icebreaker offers opportunity to build rapport, create a cohesive team, and increase the chances of success by developing your conversation skill. You can even improve communication with your children. You all recognize the most repeated question in parenting: how was school? As a conversion killer. You can avoid the usual one word response, fine, and instead create a dialogue. Imagine you may actually gain insight into what they are learning and who their friends are. Small talk is no small thing. It is a valuable personal and professional thread that connects people. Appreciating the power of small talk is the first step. By recognizing its value, you will be more inclined to acquire the skill. So it is as well advisable to think before you speak. Discuss general things like movies, sports, books, hobbies, etc. Avoid topics like your health issue, your own personal problem, and the cost of the things, gossips, and controversial issue like politics or religion. Do not walk away abruptly. Close the conversation with a graceful line. It's been nice talking to you. So, if we talk about this, if we talk to strangers, to expand your circle of friends and colleagues, you must start engaging strangers and in the conversation. There is no other way. Strangers have the potential to become a good friends, long-term clients, valued associates, and bridges to new experiences. Start thinking of strangers as people who can bring new dimension to your life, not as persons to be feared. So silence is impolite. So it is in this postmodern competitive era. Forget that the silence is golden. One person is working as an engineer side by side with a peer who has the same academic credential, tenure, and work quality. Both can be considered equal in every sense of word. However, one is outgoing and conversational. Staff member in the marketing, human resources, and quality control know his name, as do executives at the corporate headquarters. Our immediate supervisor noticed him and commented frequently on his work. When the time came for a promotion, he got it and the other didn't. He simply is not as visible because he is so silent. So start small talking and let others see your personality. You know how much you appreciate the efforts others put forth in conversation. Make the same effort. So introduce yourself. Don't wait for the host to come and properly introduce you to some of the other guests. Time has changed. Okay. People expect you to mingle on your own. Introduce yourself and take the initiative to get acquainted. Take the risk. Walk up to someone and introduce yourself. Extend your hand, make eye contact and smile. Find that approachable person and include him or her in conversation. Chances are that person is feeling as alone as you are. You can start the conversation. It is not nearly as hard as you think. And the best part is that it puts you in a charge of your own destiny. Instead of waiting for someone to talk to you, you choose your conversation partner. When someone give you a smile, you are naturally inclined to smile back. Be the first to smile and greet another person. That's pretty easy. Just a smile and a few words and it is done. Be sure that you make eye contact. That simple act is beginning of the establishing rapport. So next topic is respecting privacy. So an employer's need for information should be balanced with an employee's right to privacy. So the following are basic rules to help the establish and maintain that balance. To respect privacy is the fundamental concept of many societies. People wish to have privacy not only at their homes but also at the workplace. So, if we talk about it, the dictionary meaning of privacy is freedom from intrusion or public attention. True privacy is a relatively recent concept. Public concern is clearly increasing, primarily in response to privacy invading technologies. The problem facing employees, consumer and internet users are similar, so also the situation. There is greater agreement found in the ends than on the means. Even the ends are disputed. Americans always feel that they value privacy, yet they give up a great deal for convenience and material gain. The technologies that threaten privacy have brought us many benefits. Finding the right names is a great challenge to business firms, which must meet employee and consumer expectation as they utilize new technology. More than many business ethic problems, protecting privacy require a coordinated solution involving many parties. A solution is to be found. The focus of the business will remain on developing and implementing private policies. So, as for the employer, it is important to monitor employee activity through CCTV camera and track the internet, email, social media, and telephone use. The monitoring of employees may be necessary, but every human being has a right to privacy as far as their personal information is concerned. So, if we talk about this, employers have requirement for personal information about their employees. They need to know who they are hiring. They need to address performance issue and ensure the physical security of their workplace, and they may see electronic monitoring and other surveillance as necessary to ensure productivity, stop leaks of confidential information, and prevent workplace harassment. So sometimes employers have to delve into private matters, but they can keep those instances to a minimum and limit the impact on personal privacy. The possibility that an individual employee might do something harmful doesn't justify treating all employees as suspects. The questionable benefits of knowing what every employee is doing on company time and equipment at all times need to be weighed and against the cost, including the cost of the staff morale and trust. Preventing workplace harassment is an important goal, but it's best achieved through workforce training and sensitization. Explicit anti-harassment policy and appropriate remedial measures when harassment is reported or reasonably suspected rather than by depriving everyone of their privacy right. So an employer must take consent from the employee before sharing any of their personal information like contact numbers. As an employee, you must also respect privacy of your other colleagues. While indulging in information talk during a lunch or tree break, do not ask personal questions by which other guests intimidated. Okay, so privacy is elusive. The difficulty is due to the diverse nature of the many different situations in which claims of a right of privacy are made. So next we are going to learn about learning to say no. So before that we will again repeat the respecting privacy. So according to respecting employees' privacy. An employee's need for information should be balanced with an employee's right to privacy. For almost all personal information, including pay and benefits records, formal and informal personal files, video or audio tapes, and records of web browsing, electronic mail, and keystrokes. The basic rules help to establish and maintain the balance are the employer should say what personal information it collects from employees, why it collects it, and what is it does with it. Collection, use, or disclosure of personal information should normally be done only with an employee's knowledge and consent. The employer should only collect personal information that's necessary for its stated purpose and collect it by fair and lawful means. The employer should normally use or disclose personal information only for the purposes that it is collected it for and keep it only as long as it's needed for those purposes unless it has the employee's consent to do something else with it or is legally required to use or disclose it for other purpose. Employers' personal information needs to be accurate, complete, and up to date. Employees should be able to access their personal information and be able to challenge the accuracy and completeness of it. So next we are going to talk about learning to say no. So when do we activities which are other people's priorities, we end up accomplishing nothing at the end of the day. People usually are not able to say no even if they want to. Let's see why people are not able to say no. Generally, we have a need of acceptance, of importance, and of sense of belonging. We don't say no. So every time you say yes to something that is unimportant, you say no to something that is important. Yes men never create anything great. There is great value in getting good at saying no. Saying no to the friend who wants to meet over coffee to gossip. Say no to the coworker who wants to spread his negativity and criticism. Say no to the relatives who laughed at your dreams and make you doubt yourself. Say no to the social obligation that drain time from your life's work. You can't do all things to all people. Know your priorities, know your goals, know what needs to get done over the coming weeks, months, and years for you to feel that you played your best game as a human being. And then say no to everything else. Sure, some people around you will not be happy, but would you rather live your life according to the approval of others or align with your truth and your dreams? So, when we don't have our own plans, we are vulnerable to fit into plans of others. We think that because we don't have anything to do now, so we can easily accommodate for other people's priorities. We are not aware of our own priorities because we never visualize our goals or plan for it. So humans are social animals who thrive through reciprocity. So it is in our nature to be socially obliging, and the word no feels like a confrontation that threatens a potential bond. But when we roll out an easy yes instead of difficult no, we tend to overcommit our time, energy, and finances. The ability to communicate no really reflects that you are in the driver's seat of your own life. It gives you a sense of empowerment. There are a few other ways you can get more comfortable with saying no. First, practice being more aggressive when the stakes are low. For example, when a cashier asks you to sign up for a store credit card, you don't want trying say I don't use store credit cards instead of a passive not today but thank you. which implies your decision is up for debate. Second, it is easier to say no when you know exactly how to say it. So we are guided by our impulse or desire rather than our set principle. This happens because we have actually not set our principles. Lack of power of taking decision is also main one. So why it is so important to please everyone? To the point that you would feel resentful and stressed because of it. People afraid of saying no because the biggest fear is rejection. A person is afraid that every time he did this, he would disappoint someone, make them angry, but their feelings or appear unkind or rude. So, what happens when we are not able to say no? We end up wasting time which we may have utilized in doing activities of our own priorities. We are not able to meet our deadlines and are always in a crisis. Even though we may have helped other peoples, but it does not necessarily mean that we will be in good books of others. Because of our habit of giving priority to other people's priority, we end up missing our deadlines and it creates a bad impression. As we start seeing that our own work remains unfinished, we go into the resentment and it becomes a viscous cycle. So saying no doesn't mean you are a bad person. Saying no doesn't mean that you are being rude, selfish or unkind. These are all unhelpful beliefs that make it hard to say no. Well, as children, we learned that saying no was impolite and inappropriate. If you say no to your mom, dad, teacher, uncle, grandparents, and so on, you were most certainly considered to be being rude and you would have probably been told off for it. Saying no was off limits and yes was the polite and likable thing to say. Now that we are all adults, we are more mature and capable of making our own choices, as well as knowing the difference between wrong and right. Therefore, no shouldn't be an off limits word, but rather something that we decide on ourselves based on our own direction. Next, we are going to see time management. So, this is truly said time and tide wait for none. A human being ought to realize the significance of time to be successful in every phase of his or her life. If people don't understand the value of time, they will fail to create their individuality in life. So, managing your time will will help you to get the most done in a day. Today, people have many interests beyond their main pursuit and time always seems to be in short supply. On the other hand, it is also important to give yourself sufficient time to relax and unwind. This way, you will be able to regenerate yourself and deliver a peak performance considerably or consistently. So let us understand meaning of time management. Time management means organizing time efficiently to allocate right time to the right task at right place. Allocation of time efficiently allows a person to allot definite time slots to the work as per its significance. Time is always scarce or limited to everyone, so by managing time, a person can make the best use of it to achieve predetermined goals. One should ask himself what is more important and how much time it is required. Then make an understanding which task should be completed first and which can be done later. Not only in organizations but also in our personal lives, time management plays a pivot role in one's life. So let us see how to manage time effectively. So start with setting goals and objective, like set the goals we want to achieve, If we work without setting goals, then the situation will be similar like the captain of the ship who loses his direction in the sea. Thus, set the goals which are realistic, feasible, and achievable. Next, effective planning. It is desirable to plan our work in advance. Prepare a to do list or a task plan. Make a list of work to be done as per priorities, which is needed to be fulfilled in a day with required time to complete it. High priority work should be in the top of the list, followed by the rest of the activities that are not require much attention at a time. Finish pending work one by one as per priority. Once we finished our previous task, then only we should begin a new task. Mark the task which is already completed. Make sure to complete the work within the stipulated time given. Next is setting deadlines. Set the target and try hard to achieve the goal in given time limit. All the time we should not wait for our superior to ask. We have to learn to take responsibility of given work. The only person who can set the deadlines in a best way is you and yourself. Ask yourself how much time needs to be devoted to a particular task and for how many days. Use a planner to mark the important dates against the set deadlines. Next, delegation of responsibility. Learn to say no at the place of work. It is not possible to do everything on your own. Other colleagues are also there to work. A person should not agree to something which he knows is complicated for him. The job and responsibility must be allotted according to the significance and speciality of employees to complete the work within the time limit. A person who does not have knowledge or experience about something requires more time than someone who knows the task well. Next, prioritizing tasks. Systematize the activities according to the significance and urgency. Make it clear what is important and what is urgent. Categorize which work should be completed within a day, which all should be completed within a month, and so on. Activities that are more important should be done first. And the last one is spending the right time on right activity. Make a habit of complete the right task at the right time. Work done at the wrong time is not of much use. We should not spoil a whole day on any work that can be completed in an hour or two. Also, keep some time separate for personal work. After all, we are human beings and not machines. So, now let us see what should be done for effective time management. So for effective time management, one needs to be organized. Like stay away from the putting piles of files and loads of paper at workplace. Throw the things which are of no use. Keep important documents in folder. Arrange the files with the labels on the top of each file in respective drawers. It saves time which passes on needless searching. Don't misuse time. Do not waste time in chatting with others. Focus in work and complete assignments on time. Keep in mind that an organization is not giving remuneration to play games on computer or to make fun with colleagues. Finish the task on priority basis. It is desirable not to wait till end moment. And the last one is be focused. For effective time management, it is must to be focused. Concentrate on work is a real challenge for our screen-bound generation. Being focused on one thing for a certain periods allow you to do a better quality of work. More work gets done quicker and your creative ideas flow easier. Being focused means you have clear goals and objectives and you are dedicated to achieving those goals and objectives. So, here I end my session. Thank you, all of you.